Hola, ¿cómo están? And what is going on, guys? DarkScheme here. And today I'll be talking to you guys a little bit about valuing your times with video games. Now, what I mean by valuing your time, I'm not only talking about literal time. I know I'm definitely one of those people who values my time in a game with how many hours I get out of it. And that is more so talking about multiplayer experiences for me. Now, I'm the type of person who values my time, and I've kind of borrowed this idea that for every hour that I get out of a game, it is worth $1 for me. Meaning that if I buy a $60 game, then I should get at least 60 hours. So looking into how much time I've spent into Halo 5, that would mean that I've gotten a great amount of value out of playing Halo 5. I have so many hours in the game, I actually don't know the number right now at this moment, and I'm still continuing to play this game. But like I said, not only should you value your time with a game, you should always value your experience as well. If I put in 100 plus hours into a $60 game, but my experience at the end of it is very sour, I am not satisfied with the game, and I'm kind of just playing to play, not really to have fun, then that overall is a bad experience. If, on the other hand, somebody plays a $60 game for only 30 hours, but at the end of it, they are very satisfied with the game, they got a great experience out of it, and 30 hours is the maximum that they got out of a game, then that is perfectly okay. I think valuing not only your time, but your experience with the game is very important, and that is a little bit hard when games are different. Single player games will be different. Of course, you can get a ton of hours out of a single player game if it's an open world experience, but if a game is very story driven for its single player aspect, most of the time you usually won't get anywhere close to 60 hours, but the experience is all that matters. Now, for me personally, I am a very multiplayer focused type of person, so I will always look into the multiplayer aspect of a game, and that will make or break the game for me. Regardless of a game having a great single player experience, that is just my opinion, because when I purchase a game, I try and get as much time out of the game as possible. And like I said, I've seen the flaws with this type of thinking, so I always try and continue to look into valuing my time a little bit better, and that is one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this with you guys as well. If I see a game that I know I'm going to enjoy, but there's no multiplayer experience, I might be hindered to not buy that game. But because of my thinking, I always need to remember valuing the game, having an experience with that game is going to be different, not only for me, but for other people. If I am extremely excited for a game and I start looking for things about the game before it even releases, or even while the game is released outside of the game, that is a big deal for me. If you find yourself playing a game, looking into a community outside of the game, looking to play with other people, that is, I believe, a tertiary value that not a lot of people really look into. And I think that also goes into the experience of the game, but it kind of extends further than that. For me, I know that for Halo 5, I always look on different types of forums. The one I frequent the most would probably be Reddit over at our Halo. And that is, I believe, the type of experience that I have because I am a big fan of this game, and because I've put in so much time, so much effort, and have gotten a great experience out of the game. It extends that kind of value that I have for the game outside of the game. So when talking about valuing a game and having a great experience, having a ton of hours put into a game, and having that much of a great experience that you're willing to look further for information about the game outside of the game, I think that is a big key value, at least for me personally. Like I said, if I have an interest in a game and I'm looking into it, I'm researching it, I'm hopping into some forums about the game, trying to see the types of experiences that everybody else has had, and whether I think it is for me or not, I think that's definitely partly great, because it not only shows that you have some sort of interest in the game, but it means that they have developed this type of interest that for the most part, you might not always get from a game. Multiplayer experiences are one that need consistent support And for the most part, that is what will continue to evolve the experience that you have with a game. For me, one good example of this is The Division. Tom Clancy's The Division is one of the games that I had a ton of interest in. I've looked and researched into the game, and I have definitely had those times where I wanted to buy the game. But overall, I knew that at some point I would play so much of the game that I would hit a wall in which I couldn't really do anything because there wasn't much to do in that game. Maybe down the line, once the experience is evolved, once the experience is improved, and more things are added into the game, I will continue to think about buying this game and looking into finding some friends to play this game with me as well. And overall, I think that would be a better experience instead of me just going to buy the game and playing it on my own. But that is pretty much it for me today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my quote-unquote little rant about valuing your time with video games. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about valuing your time with games. And at the end of the day, just know that playing a video game should ultimately always be about having fun. So I'll leave you guys with that. And as always, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.